Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. All I've been hearing about over the last couple months is how correlated Bitcoin is to the stock market. Everybody's so scared about a second wave of COVID that they're so quick to sell their Bitcoin and actually expect to find further downside. This has been the pretty big consensus over the last couple weeks. The vastest majority of people are bearish, and these type of people are going to be missing out on a huge financial opportunity at hand. While many people are trying to call this distribution and expecting Bitcoin to drop back down to the low 6,000s and some even lower, I'm on the opposite approach, and I actually don't think that Bitcoin is quite as correlated to stocks in a negative way as everybody else will believe. In fact, Bitcoin and gold are actually leading the rest of the market and are pointing the way to new all-time highs right now. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember, guys, I have an amazing Discord community, and we're so close to hitting that goal of 10,000 members. Make sure that you guys join. It's free for anybody that wants to. All you guys got to do is click in the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord. Now, on the Discord, I also offer my more exclusive content, like the video course and signals. So if you're somebody that wants to copy my educational content and learn how to profit by yourself inside of this market, or if you're somebody that just wants to copy all the trades that I take as well as copy my long-term portfolio, this is definitely going to be the move for you guys. And wait till the very end of this video, because I'm going to be taking a couple minutes to explain why you guys should sign up, some of the benefits of doing so, and then how we can actually get you going today. Alright guys, with all that being said, we've got a load of really exciting charts to talk about today. So without further ado, let's jump right in the video. Alrighty guys, so obviously everybody has been talking about how bearish Bitcoin is. If you're following Twitter, if you're following on TradingView, all of the ideas have been predominantly bearish right now. And it's because we're at a very major resistance level. Everybody seems to think that this is just going to cause the entire market to sell off, even with all of what is actually going on right now. And so let's go through here and talk about some things, because there's some really important updates that I want to have and tell you guys about. Now, this has been the very obvious zone where everybody's been expecting, a sell-off. This has been the major resistance for a while now. But the thing is, guys, this consolidation right here just doesn't seem very bearish to me. And even though a lot of people are leading us to believe that it is, because of the fact every time we've hit this level, we've sold off, I just don't see this structure being the same as any of the other periods of time. And if we take a look at kind of what I mean by that, if we come over here and take a look at what it was like when we consolidated and hit these levels prior. This one was 18 days, but we were immediately rejected below this, saw a lot of wicks up here, and we were closing below this convincingly for a pretty easy amount of time. This one, we just got one quick retest and immediately got shot down there. This one was pretty much the same thing. We didn't spend much time accumulating or consolidating. We pretty much just touched this, and then within a week we were already back below and selling off. This time, this consolidation is much different. There's a lot more what I would view, there's a lot more accumulation actually taking place in this level. And we're doing this all right below the resistance. And what that tells me is all these other times, we hit this and then we quickly rejected. Same with here, same with right here. This time, we've been consolidating under this level, but we haven't had a confirmed rejection quite yet. You could make the argument that this was a rejection, but I just don't quite see it. I personally look at this as more of an accumulation right below a resistance before we break up. Now, with that being said, when I watch this, I'm really just watching a couple levels, because it just appears to me, more so than the ascending triangle that I've been updating you guys with, this looks more just like a range. And that's kind of the way that I'm going to be looking at this. We can still label the symmetrical or this ascending triangle. If we come over here and take a look, you guys will be able to see it still. So we still have this symmetrical triangle, if you want to call it that, but for me, I'm just looking at this as a range. And inside of this range, we could still drop and come back down to retest 85 to 87. And it's still not going to be bearish, in my opinion. In my opinion, until we start selling below 85, or I should say 86 is going to be my bare minimum. As soon as we sell below 86, that would be the point where I'd actually be expecting a bigger drop. Now, with that being said, I'm only going to be watching for about 7,800 as the next logical support level. Because this is a pretty solid area. I think that everybody's kind of expecting us to fall back down into the mid sixes, and for me, I just find that less likely with the amount of new money that's being printed, with the amount of uncertainty inside of a global scale. There's more adoption in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency than ever before, and so I just find this more reasons to be bullish. Until this range fails, this is the way I'm going to be playing it, but I look at this as being much more bullish than anything. All of the other consolidations at this level were quick rejections. This one is nothing quick of a rejection. In fact, we've been consolidating here for about 3 months' time. We hit the top of the range, so about 55 days ago approximately. So this is about a 3-month accumulation that we're seeing here. In my opinion, if we haven't sold off and started dropping right now, we're just not going to see it, which actually takes me to, this part. Let's remove some of these drawing tools and let's actually compare the S&P 500 to Bitcoin, because guys, this is a really important thing. I know that everybody's talking about how correlated Bitcoin is to stocks, and that makes everybody skeptical because they're sitting there thinking to themselves, well, if Bitcoin's so correlated to stocks and the stocks are about to make this lower high and then we're going to start a brand new Great Depression because the second wave of COVID is here, there's no jobs, everybody's broke and everybody's poor, when, those are all just self-perpetuating belief systems that are just more or less perpetuating fear. And if we actually take a look at what's going on between the consolidation, you guys are going to start to understand that, Bitcoin's actually leading the stock market, and that's the most important thing of all. Now, quickly, before we jump into this comparison, we're going to be taking a look at gold, because gold right now is about to break its all-time high. Whether we have a little bit of a short-term pullback, I think that's going to be a little less likely. But nonetheless, guys, this one is going to be breaking its all-time high very soon. We're already right there. We've already retested and flipped a bunch of major levels, and we're already just pretty much right at that all-time high mark. In fact, if we go to what the highest point of that resistance is, we only have a tiny bit left before we're just going to be breaking out and going into new all-time highs, which, being gold, I expect it to do so. With all the money printing that's going on, people are rushing into gold. And what's really exciting about this, guys, is the fact that if gold's actually breaking its all-time high, that is going to put a lot of confidence inside of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is just deemed digital gold. And because of that, if the actual gold itself is breaking its all-time high, people are going to be looking for Bitcoin as a much more attractive investment, because it is very similar to gold. It's a store of value. And so if gold's breaking all-time highs and is in price discovery, you're going to make consistent profits off of gold. Don't get me wrong. Gold is a very nice investment. In fact, let's say my target would personally be about 5,000 per ounce. That's kind of what I'm going to be watching for, which would be about 180%, which is really consistent, solid gains. For gold, that's amazing. But with Bitcoin, you could buy at these same prices, and for Bitcoin to make just one higher high, that could be 50 to 100% each and every time. And so that's the thing about this cycle, is the fact that once gold's breaking out of its all-time high, that's going to become much more confidence boost. That's going to bring a lot more confidence inside of the market to where people are going to be investing into Bitcoin. And so that's what I'm watching out for. I think that this is really leading the way of all markets. Gold is going to be the leader. It leads Bitcoin. It leads the stocks. It leads everything. And so for that, we got to really pay attention with what's happening with gold. And since we're so close to that all-time high, gold's going to be breaking out really soon. When that happens, a lot of new confidence is going to be entering into Bitcoin's market. And with Bitcoin, below this resistance for quite some time, if gold breaks all-time highs, you can about guarantee that Bitcoin's going to be breaking this psychological resistance, and we're going to be heading close to that all-time high mark. Now, the whole point of this, let's dive into the S&P 500. So this is what this is right here. And this is Bitcoin today, because they're not as correlated as you would think. Well, they're really correlated, but what I should say is it's not correlated in a negative sense, like everybody on Twitter is trying to preach to you. I have not seen one single person that's pointing out that this correlation is bullish. Every single one of them is bearish. And that's what's funny about this, is the fact that they're just missing the greater conclusion that is to be made here. So let's go through here. This was the COVID panic. So we got our first lower high right here, and then we sold off super sharply, right? Same thing happened here. This was the COVID panic, and then we sold off. Make our lows here, and then we start impulsing, right? Now this is where it gets really interesting. So in Bitcoin, we start impulsing, and we make this little head and shoulder thing. And this is kind of what I updated you guys with. Same exact thing happens here inside of the S&P. little head and shoulder looking top. The S&P even sold off a little bit more than Bitcoin, which would have been even more bearish from a personal perspective of what people would have just been viewing it. And then in Bitcoin, after that, we get the fake out head and shoulder. Everybody was labeling this a rising wedge. Everybody was pointing to downside. And then Bitcoin broke up again, and we ended up recovering all of the COVID panic and then some. And not only that, but we flipped that level right here. And if we take a look here, Bitcoin impulses, then we top, and we've just been consolidating within this range for 3 months now. Look at the S&P 500. We do the same thing. After the head and shoulder fake out, we impulse, we get topped out here. But now the only difference, if we take a look at here, is the fact that the S&P is just behind Bitcoin. It hasn't done what Bitcoin has done thus far. And if we come and drag it down here, you're going to see that. So this was the lower high. We crash. We start this head and shoulder correction type pattern right here where we first impulse, get this head and shoulder, and then we actually impulse into the second high. And if we take this second high, you guys are going to see the Bitcoin has a ton of consolidation where the S&P is still just lagging. The S&P still has to make this entire move over here. And it hasn't thus far, which is why it's so dumb to even be making this comparison and trying to say, oh no, the stocks and Bitcoin are very correlated, when obviously they're correlated. They're invested by the same exact people. And you guys got to remember that retail isn't investing into Bitcoin. Retail is scared of Bitcoin. Retail is actually investing into the stock market right now through, Robinhood, through Webull, through all of these different exchanges. Retail is really diving into stocks because, everybody's been watching the stock bull run for so long. Everybody's always seen everybody just buy the dips, Warren Buffett status, just buy the dips, buy the blood, and make money. And that's really what I've seen a lot of people that have never invested in the stock market, people that have no investing experience, whatever, are constantly asking me, not so much about crypto, but what stocks that they can buy. And what's interesting to me is just how much, Bitcoin is leading the stock market. We've seen up to this point a lot of correlations. We saw the head and shoulder type of consolidation here. We saw the impulse up. But the S&P doesn't have all of this little price action here like Bitcoin does. That means that the S&P is lagging and the stocks are lagging behind Bitcoin. And what do we know, guys? We know that gold is the leader. Gold is the leader of the markets. That's how it's been, since history. And with gold about to break its all-time high, Bitcoin is the second in charge here. Gold's first in charge. This is the way the hierarchy is set up. It goes gold, it goes Bitcoin, and then it goes the stock market. And you could throw silver in there around the same point as like the altcoins, because silver and the altcoins are actually more correlated. And so it goes gold, Bitcoin, silver and altcoins, and then it goes down to the stock market. And so the stocks are the ones that are lagging behind right now. And so there's no reason to be making this comparison and trying to say that the Bitcoin is bearish because of the fact that, it's correlated to the stock market. When, yeah, it's pretty correlated. You can definitely see very obvious signs of correlation here. But the difference is, guys, Bitcoin is leading that correlation. It's not the ladder. It's not the ladder. It's not that the stocks are leading Bitcoin, it's that Bitcoin is leading the stocks. Even with the correlation, Bitcoin is leading right now, and gold is the first in charge. The most important thing to watch out for if you're an investor in a crypto isn't to watch the stock market, it's actually to be watching what's happening to gold, because Bitcoin is going to be more correlated to gold's price. I think that with Bitcoin and gold, being at these core psychological levels, gold is at its all-time high just about, Bitcoin's at that major 10K resistance. When gold flips this level, it's a go-to that everything is going to be flooding into, the markets. If gold can actually flip its all-time high, that's going to bring a lot of confidence inside of the markets. And so that's what's really going to drive Bitcoin into this next bull run, is what I actually envision a gold bull run. Is really going to bring a lot of new money heading into these markets. They'll see gold going up, they'll see Bitcoin going up, they'll see stocks going up. Even with the entire country in shambles on an economic standpoint, there's been a big divergence here for a while. And so there's no reason to suspect that the divergence is just going to randomly stop until it's actually proven that. And so with the S&P, I actually expect all of these things are going to be breaking their all-time highs and continuing to go up. That's just my personal belief. Until that trend changes, whether it's stocks, starting to sell off again and go into a multi-year bear market, or, maybe it's something else entirely, I'm personally watching for gold to lead the way. When gold breaks its all-time high, new money is going to be flooding into gold, but it's also going to be flooding into Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin's just below this major psychological resistance level. We're consolidating and accumulating below it. This isn't distribution. This is a major accumulation that's taking place right below a strong resistance that's held us for so long. When this breaks out, I'm expecting a quick impulse to 14K. And you know, we might see that with gold right now. If we come in and actually zoom into gold on a shorter time frame, go take a look here. You can actually see quite the consolidation. Now, the way I'm going to label this is about right here. And in my opinion, this has been just a strong accumulation sideways for quite some time. We've built a base and we have a resistance of this channel. And we're actually above this. So unless support holds, you know, or I should say unless support fails, I'm expecting this to be more bullish than anything. You know, even if we have to short-term pop back down in here before going up, I think that overall we're getting close to breaking out of this range. And once this range is broken, you know, gold's going to continue to see more upside. And with us being so close to that all-time high mark, it's time to really start paying attention with everything that's unfolding inside of the markets. With Bitcoin and gold really leading the way of the stock market, you know, in my opinion, we're going to see another big impulse in Bitcoin. After that impulse, you know, we'll see this type of lagging, and then we'll see the stock market start to hit that all-time high and potentially even be breaking the all-time high mark. That's personally the way that I'm going to be trading this market. I wanted to give you guys an update on everything that's going on inside of what I personally see inside of the market. I see so many people trying to make this correlation that, you know, Bitcoin's bearish because the stock market is so correlated to Bitcoin and everybody hates that comparison. When in actuality, guys, the people that are buying Bitcoin are the same people that are buying all of the other markets, and that's why we see the correlation. But the difference is, you know, Bitcoin is actually leading that consolidation. This is just lagging behind. The S&P, the Dow Jones, all of these other indices are lagging behind Bitcoin, and we still have to see a little bit more accumulation before we can actually catch up to where Bitcoin's at. And I don't expect it to actually catch up. I expect Bitcoin to continue to lead the way and always be at least one impulse higher, because for some reason everybody seems to have forgotten that prior to this, let's go through here and actually look at this. Prior to all of this consolidation that we've been seeing in Bitcoin, Bitcoin led this impulse. This entire first impulse after, so right here, we're going to go right here. So this was the consolidation that we saw, right? These are almost the exact same chart, same exact correlation. Now, right here in Bitcoin, when Bitcoin started impulsing and we went into this move here, same with the stocks and Bitcoin, Bitcoin was the first one to make this move. The stocks didn't make this move until after it sold off here. You know, after Bitcoin started selling off was when stocks really started moving. And so we got to keep in mind that it's not an alternative correlation. It's not that Bitcoin is following the stock market. It's actually that the stock market is following Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first one to make this impulse. It led this impulse. The stocks waited until Bitcoin made this impulse before they actually made theirs. And so there's no reason to be fearful right now. Whoever's fearful is feeding you a bunch of crap. You know, I see it everywhere on Twitter, and it's making me realize just how many garbage traders there are out there that have thousands of followers that actually have no idea what they're doing. And so I make these videos to keep you guys updated, to keep you guys aware of all of the possibilities, all of the outcomes. And to be honest, guys, I've been so bullish for so long, and it's because all we've ever seen is more reasons to be bullish. Obviously, the COVID panic was a little bit of that black swan event where nobody expected it, but nonetheless, guys, it doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, we were bullish since 2019. When I made the video titled "The Bottom is In, Gold versus Bitcoin," I knew that the bottom was in. Even though we got further consolidation, it was just a better time for me to accumulate, buy more crypto, invest myself into these markets. And now we're seeing more reasons to be bullish with correlations between gold and not so much correlations with the stock market. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Quickly, I'm going to take a couple minutes to talk about, for the people that want to sign up for the video course and signals, I'll explain how to do that, some pros and cons of doing that. Now, the video course and signals are sold separate. You guys can buy them together if you want. The video course is an excellent resource, 20 educational videos that teach you guys all of these strategies that I use to profit. You guys are going to get updates on how to use all of these little tools, how to set trend lines, how to do stop losses, trading plans, Fibonacci, all those things are going to be taught to you so that you guys can actually be here profiting with me by yourselves. Actually, you'll be able to ask me questions about how to trade properly, ask me questions about creating a trading plan, and I'll be able to teach that to you guys inside of this 20-part video series. Now, for people that would rather just copy my long-term portfolio, 80% of my portfolio is for the long term, so by joining the signals, you're immediately going to get access to my long-term portfolio, and then any other short-term trades that I take with the remaining 20% of my portfolio are going to be for margin, are going to be for short-term swing trades. So you guys are going to be able to make a good profit just following random calls that I take. A lot of them been popping off. We've nailed V-Chain. We closed out 100% yesterday. Quant was another one that closed out over 200%. Zilliqa was one, that was 60% and then 100%. And then it ended up pumping over 230%. Theta was another one. We gained 300% off of that. And so we've had a lot of really good winners, guys. And that's the thing, is as long as we keep doing that, as long as you guys join and follow us, we're going to make a ton of money together. And that's the thing. I'm making money every single day. And you guys could be doing that too. And I would love to have you guys join. All you guys got to do is click in the description of this video. Once you guys have access to the Discord, you're going to find the invitation link there. Once you guys have access, just shoot me a message and I'll be able to help you guys get set up with all of the things needed to get profiting with me, or the course to actually teach you guys how to do the things that I do. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.